Here we goes in 2 days. What is going on at Manchester United? We got a bomber coming in from David Ornstein about an hour ago about Barcelona and Marcus Rashford being close. But obviously, I'm filming this at half time because we're playing our preseason game against Leeds. But at half time right now, we've just got the Here We Go coming in from Fabrizio Romano, breaking Marcus Rashford to Barcelona. Here we go. Verbal agreement in principle between all parties involved, with Barcelona planning medical tests in next few days. Loan deal with buy option, details being finalised today. Then at Manchester United will authorise his travel to Spain. First exit sorted, Marcus Rashford to Barcelona. Here we go. First of all, I said the minute the Nico Williams deal was off, Rashford's going to be going to Barcelona. Second of all, I wanted a permanent deal. I wanted the 40 million. If you had the money to make a bid for Nico Williams, why aren't you making a bid for Marcus Rashford? If you were going to pay the money for Williams and Diaz, why can you only do loans for Marcus Rashford? Well, I think this is Manchester United's fault, if we're going to be completely honest. Manchester United made it so public that Amorim and Rashford basically didn't like each other. They made it so public they didn't want Rashford back that we've been taken advantage of. And this is what I don't like. And I get not bringing Rashford back, not bringing Sancho back, Malacia back, Anthony Garnacho back for pre-season, because if Ruben Amorim doesn't want them, you don't want them in the squad. You don't want them potentially distracting things. But I feel like that's put Barcelona in a position where they can do a loan with an option to buy, not even an obligation, a loan with an option to buy. Now, interestingly, Manchester United are planning to incorporate something which basically means that if Barcelona don't trigger the option to buy, they may have to pay us a couple million and a fine. But look, I think Marcus Rashford is going to go to Barcelona. I think he's going to smash it at Barcelona. I think he's going to be really, really good for them. And, a couple people saying, how's he got that move? Can't believe Barcelona want him. And, when I've been linking him to Barcelona, and not linking, but when I've been talking about the links between Marcus Rashford and Barcelona, a lot of people were like, Alice, it's never going to happen. They don't want him. But I don't think people realise that there is a quality player in Marcus Rashford. We might have not seen it at Manchester United recently, but I think a new environment, confidence, working with Hansi Flick, I think you could go to Barcelona, smash it. And I think Barcelona, whatever the option to buy is, I'm going to assume it's around 40 million. I mean, there's a strong possibility that Barcelona could trigger that option to buy, because I do think he's going to do well, but I'm annoyed it's not an obligation. We're obviously not in the strongest position, making it so obvious that we want Rashford gone, but I'm annoyed it's not an obligation. If we were going to do loans, I felt there should be an obligation, not an option. Barcelona have completely got what they wanted. We've sold a player, but we haven't even got the money coming in, but he's off the wage bill, so it will help. But it is one of those. It's one of those where it's like, for me, we should have been able to get a permanent or an obligation at least, and we haven't. And that's the problem with our players. They're on high wages, or we make it obvious we don't want them, so teams aren't going to pay up. And I'm worried that the same is going to happen with Anthony. Real Betis might see this and go, should we just hold out on Anthony even longer and see if we can get him on loan? Because we can't afford to loan out all of Rashford, Sancho, Anthony Garnacho, all of that. I think we will sell Garnacho, but I want Anthony permanent and I want a Sancho permanent. Malacia permanent, Højlund permanent would even be nice. So yeah, what was the news that came in? So this is all broken the last hour. We sent an official bid this morning. There was a meeting that took place, and basically Hansi Flick approved the deal. They had a meeting. They looked at Diaz, too expensive. It was Nico Williams, Diaz, and Rashford. Rashford was the most affordable deal. It's annoying that they would have bidded 50, 60 million for Diaz, 50, 60 million for Nico Williams, but can't fork out 40 million for Rashford, who, and you'll talk about Rashford's wages, but Rashford was willing to take a good 40% wage cut to move to Barcelona. So I do think that, yeah, we've been played a little bit there, but I'm glad that Rashford is out the door and moved on. That's one less player to worry about. And we have got some updates on Sancho. There is now reports coming out of Italy that there is an agreement between Sancho and all of that as well. So we're going to talk about that, because if we can actually get money for Sancho, which looks like it could be the case, then that will be positive news. But obviously this is what was reported earlier. This was a David Ornstein bomber that came in about an hour ago, that Barcelona are advancing to sign Rashford, and now we have the Here We Go, which is good news. But I'm going to get into the Sancho news. I'm going to get into the other stories. Also, reports have just come out now that Mbeumo is at Carrington undergoing his medical. So Rashford is gone. Mbeumo's medical's boom. We're looking at Lamens. We're looking at a striker. I hope we're signing a midfielder, because I'm filming this at half time and I felt the midfield wasn't great in that game versus Leeds. We've also got updates in regards to Jadon Sancho and the Sancho deal being agreed. Now, before I get into the Jadon Sancho news, I'm going to give you some context. We've had so many reports over the last 3 weeks about a Jadon Sancho deal being closed or an agreement being reached from Italian media, for then Ornstein and Romano to say nothing. We've had so many times Italian media have told us the Sancho deal was done, terms agreed, this is agreed, that is agreed, for then Romano to be like, oh no, they're just talking. It's not that close, they're just talking. So let's bear that in mind. But we're going to get into this Jadon Sancho story here. I'm going to get up on my screen. Juventus have reached an agreement with Manchester United to sign Sancho for 15 million. They've also reached an agreement with the player who will sign a 4-year contract worth 5 million per season plus bonuses. Let's wait until more sources come out and confirm this because, again, I feel like we've been told so many times by media sources that Sancho and Juventus have agreed something for nothing to come out from Ornstein and Romano, who are the two best, or even just someone that was good on the Man United side of things. Even if it came out from like it doesn't even have to be Romano or Ornstein. If you've got something from like a Paul Hurst or a Jamie Jackson or somebody on the Man United side of things, at least we could add some credibility to it. But yeah, apparently Sancho have an agreement with United for 15 million. Again, we wanted 25 million for Sancho. We've got the 5 million for Chelsea, so will it set 20 million? If it's 15 million, it's a bit low, but it is just get them gone. It is just get them gone at this rate. Book value, get them gone, get them off the wage bill. Because if you're getting Sancho and Rashford off the wage bill, you are technically saving about they're probably saving about 20 million a year with Sancho and Rashford off the wage bill. So I guess we can look at it potentially that way. But apparently we have an agreement with Juventus. Apparently it's agreed, and it's a fee, but I just don't believe it. Unless Ornstein or Romano says anything, I don't believe it because we've been told about 4 times that Sancho's agreed to deal with Juventus and Man United agreed to deal with Juventus. And yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But let's hope that's 2 down. That's 2 down, 3 to go. Malacia, Anthony, and Garnacho. And Garnacho is the big one. Garnacho is the one that's going to bring in the funds. And there is interest from Villa, and there is interest from Chelsea. I was just going to get into a few other stories. I wonder if we'll see him in the second half. But I was disappointed with the midfield in the first half. I don't like it. I think we need a midfielder. Nathan Salt, who is a journalist that does a lot of academy work, is quite good when it comes to the academy, did say plans to loan out Sekou Kone this summer have been abandoned after he's impressed Ruben Amorim and staff in training. The expectation is now that he will stay at United this summer. There's actually been a few reports coming out that Sekou Kone has really impressed in training. We also got the report coming out Diego Leon is impressed in training, and Harry Amas they've decided to send out on loan, maybe because of Diego Leon, who looked decent in that first half. But there's now reports coming out about Sekou Kone impressing and training, and I think in the postseason tour he looked good. It'll be interesting to see if he gets minutes, but I think our midfield is weak, and I think if we don't sign a midfielder, I'm all for Sekou Kone. I think he's a good player. I think he's got the physical and technical attributes. Remember, he's young. Even if he's not ready this season, he could still be a baller in 2-3 years' time. Talking of the match, I thought that Cunha was really good, and I thought Cunha was impressive, and the second half is about to kick off, so I'm going to finish up this video now. But Heaton, Heaven, Maguire, Yoro, Dello, Dorgu, Maino, Agate, Mount, Mantato, and Hoyland are all in the second half. So Kone is not starting the second half, but it would be good to see him get some minutes. We have also been linked to Kolo Muani. Not sure about the credibility in this. I do think Santi's a decent source of information, but he's not tier 1. Apparently us and Newcastle were interested in Muani and already had contacts. Maybe we're being used to speed up his move to Juventus, but I feel like he is going to go to Juventus, or maybe we're doing this to put pressure on Juventus to get Sancho. I don't know. There was some Kolo Muani links, and obviously Joe Hugill is a United striker, got 1 year left on his contract, probably going to leave at the end of the season, but if he does do well at League 2 club Barnet on loan, maybe United extend his deal for another year. But Joe Hugill is set to leave Manchester United. So anyway, that is all your news rounded up in less than 10 minutes. Mostly just the here we go news on Rashford, but reports coming out about a Sancho agreement. So let's see what happens there. But thank you all for tuning in. I will probably post this straight away. Or shall I wait until the match ends? No, I'll just post it straight away. I'll just post it straight away. But there will be a match reaction coming out after this video on the Leeds game. Hopefully we win and actually show something in the second half. Thank you for watching. Bye.